somewhere. There's no hatred somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There's no hatred somewhere. There's no violence somewhere. There's no violence somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There's no violence somewhere. There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. Hi, this is Rik Palieri, and welcome to another chapter in the Songwriter's Notebook. Well, as you can see, we have some very special guests in our studio today, and we wanted to start things off in a kind of a little bit of a thoughtful way because of some of the things that are going on in today's world. And Gathering Time, even the name, really symbolizes how people need to get together when things are difficult. And this group has been doing that. They've been getting together and singing songs of hope, singing songs of freedom, singing songs about people from the Jewish community. They have a whole special program about that. And today we're honored to have them here in the Songwriter's Notebook and get a chance to know them because they don't get a chance to come here that often. This is your third time here, yes. Stuart. I think we should, we have Stuart and Hillary and Gerry. They've come all the way. They've been on the road. They were out in our neighboring state over in New Hampshire. And they're here in Vermont to play over at a special, house concert series by Carl Bissix and Mary. Carl's here in the studio today. And of course, Carl and Mary are one of the fixtures of our community. And Carl is the brother of our beloved Rachel Bissix, who was here on the Songwriter's Notebook many times. So it's sort of like a family time, gathering together here with Gathering Time. Stuart, why don't you just give us a little bit of an idea? I met you so long ago in NERFA, and you were singing more pirate songs.
I still do those. I have a sea shanty duo called the Royal Yard, where I'm known as Scuttlebutt Stu. A different side of my personality. And
he wore his pirate wear to my wedding.
Yes.
He was in the wedding party with his sword and his...
But I wore the good frilled shirt, you see. And
that's right,
the good
for the
vest,
wedding.
And
That's
the
right.
good sword.
R.
I said come in costume.
Well, I've been following you on Facebook, and you have made so many strides in the time that you've been out performing. You have had so many songs that have risen to the top on the folk DJ charts and well respected in our folk community, and that's why you're here.
Well, thank you so much.
Because people really love what you do, and I think that it's really interesting. Before we talk too much about how the band came together, why don't you give us a song?
Okay. Well, why don't we do Hillary's song first? This was the title track Yes.
The title track, even though the name of the song is not in the lyric.
But it's on the title of the album, so we make up for it that way.
It's called Keepsake. I am a little skiff on a great dark sea, and the moon shining down isn't bright enough to light me. Down, 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 down in my heart. and the waves pick me up, and the waves put me down, and the wind that blows isn't enough to turn me around. Down, 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 down in my heart. And the fishes down below, and the seabirds up above, not a one of them will tell me what to do so far away from your love. I am tossed upon the shore, but I dive back in, and I do not care whether I sink or swim. Down, 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 down in my heart. I am a diver now in the rolling deep. I am looking for a pearl, a memory to keep. Down, 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 down in my heart. And the fishes down below, and the seabirds up above, not a one of them will tell me what to do so far away from your love. I can only see the surface, but the answer lies below, and I wait for you to tell me what I already know. I have everything I wanted, but it's nothing I can keep. So let me drift away, dear, where I can fall asleep. I am a little skiff on a great dark sea, and the moon shining down isn't bright enough to light me. Down, 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 down in my heart. Down, 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 down in my heart. Down, 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 down in my heart.
It's like a beautiful hot bath of melodies and harmony. You're just floating. You know, you read a lot of the newspaper articles comparing you to two interesting, combinations of Peter, Paul, and Mary, and also Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Crosby, Stills, and Mary.
There you go.
The way we sum it up.
And you can see that. You can see this feeling. When did you know, Stuart? When did you know? When you heard this and you said, "Wait a minute, there's something here."
Almost immediately. But
you
before
should tell
Gerry,
the story of
before Gerry joined the band, we had another member who I knew him and I knew Gerry actually through this songwriting workshop group that met monthly on Long Island. And I had run into Gerry's predecessor at a concert, and he said, "Oh, I'd play at this antique car rally every Tuesday night in Oyster Bay. Why don't you come down and harmonize, jam with me sometime?" So a couple of weeks later, I walked by and I heard this woman singing with him. And my first thought was, "Oh, somebody beat me to it." My second thought was, "She sounds good." And my third thought was, "Wait, they're doing a song with 3 harmony parts. Maybe I can join in with them." And it just clicked almost immediately.
Yeah, he didn't ask. He just, sort of
As is
walked
my
up
wont.
to me, mid-lyric, sort of tipped his hat and then cozied up to me and got on the mic. I was new in the game, so I didn't know whether this was protocol. And I was like, who is this forward gentleman who's, listen to that.
They say that when it's really good, the harmonies are really good, it's almost like there is another voice that's coming through. And that's what I was kind of hearing.
Called him Fred.
Yeah. And you could feel that. And that's why I was saying I was kind of getting lost in just that sound.
Every once in a while, we'll be on stage and the monitor mix is really good, and we're kind of getting the reflection of the main speakers off the back of the auditorium. And it just sounds like we're in the midst of this incredible sound, and I just happen to be there with my mouth open.
Yeah.
When a chord really, really gels, it clicks together.
Yeah.
You just hear it, you almost feel it.
Now you
and
folks,
it's happened more than once that I'll be singing lead while they're singing harmony with me, and I'll be so taken by how good they sound that I'll forget my lyrics.
and Gerry, we were talking earlier that you're more or less the new kid on the block
New
here.
kid on the block.
Yeah, and you came into this. And what was your original thoughts about where this was going to go?
I don't know what I was thinking. As Stuart mentioned, we had known each other for a number of years prior, and it actually was it was great timing because I've been a working musician for 35 years, and I was just in a phase where I was sort of in the doldrums, wasn't sure what to do next, and I pick up my phone and the caller ID says Stuart Markus. I'm like, what the heck is Stuart Markus calling me for? And he presented the idea, and I said, sure, I'll go. And we sat in Hillary's kitchen and sang a few songs and
just jammed on covers.
Yeah. And Hillary said that your husband came in
Yes, you were
where I could
sitting
not
with
see
your
him.
back to the kitchen door, and he came down to get a drink of water or something. He was standing behind Gerry, enthusiastically going.
So I knew it was going to be good, but I had no idea, what I was getting into really.
Now, one of the things that is kind of exciting about you're not just doing your own songs. You are doing some of your own songs, but you also have embraced the idea of showcasing some of the wonderful songs from the 60s. And can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, it used to be the folk tradition meant doing older songs that others had written, songs whose authorship had been lost to history, and maybe adding one or two of your own. Yeah. Then sometime in the 60s and 70s, folk music became synonymous with singer-songwriters. And it's good, but it sort of meant that a whole lot of great songs from the past were forgotten about. We grew up with those songs. We grew up listening to Peter, Paul and Mary and Simon and Garfunkel and Crosby, Stills and Nash. And I always loved doing them. And Gerry and I especially, played covers gigs of one sort or another, bars, restaurants, weddings,
Yeah.
So we were no stranger to it. We didn't feel like we were compromising. We liked the songs that we were doing.
Right. Yeah.
And so it just seemed very natural and when you're a 3-part harmony group, you look at Crosby, Stills and Nash and say, that's a really good example to shoot for. Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, when you've been doing them a while without referencing the original source material, a year later, you look on Facebook and somebody took a video of you and put it up, and you listen to it, and then you hear the original song, and you're like, oh no, Crosby, Stills and Nash are doing it wrong. This is how it goes.
Well, that's how the folk process works.
Yeah.
Why don't you give us a taste of one of those songs that you like to play?
An old folk song? What? Well, this is one that we really sort of reimagined.
Yeah, this
In
is.
fact, you probably know it, so if you want to join with us.
Chime
This
in,
is
yeah.
a song, it's been traced to England, it's been traced to Appalachia, it's traveled the world. There are many versions of it. We do a somewhat standard version, but we do it with a Bo Diddley beat just because we want to do something interesting.
Just because we can.
We were sort of thinking about it as we were driving through the mountains and all the wilderness. It's called The Fox. The Fox.
Such supper in the life, and the little ones chewed on the bones, oh, bones, oh, bones, oh. Never had such a supper in the life, and the little ones chewed on the bones, oh.
Bo Diddley meets the fox. I'll tell you. As an old folkie, it's like, whoa, that's kind of strange kind of a feeling. That kind of
I remember the first time I suggested it, Hillary looked at me like I had a duck on my shoulder. Like, let's try it. You know, a lot of what we come up with arrangements-wise and on the records are a matter of, let's try this. No, let's try this. That's crazy. Let's just try it. If you hate it, we won't use it. Okay. Hey, I kind of like that.
Well,
like that all the
you know,
time.
the whole thing is that the rhythmic groove is so cool.
Yeah.
And even if you know the song, it's like you take it somewhere else. And that's part of the folk process too.
Yeah.
Is that, you know, sometimes you want to keep it pristine. And other times you want to mess with it a bit.
Yeah.
Have fun with it. You know, these songs were meant to be sung for fun.
Yeah.
That, you know, old-time gatherings when there was no other entertainment, people did this for their entertainment.
Yeah.
And they weren't meant to be museum pieces. And I really keep that philosophy in mind as we're trying to do something.
Now you have a song that you want to sing, and it gets back to more of what we had talked about at the beginning of the program, about having songs for healing, of having songs for the community. When people need to gather like they do today in this world that we live in, that music is the glue that holds us together. And when we get out on the street and we're singing with our community at these times, it becomes very meaningful. And you have a song that you want to share like that.
You know, Yip Harburg, the great songwriter who wrote Somewhere Over the Rainbow and Brother Can You Spare a Dime, he once said, music can make you feel a feeling, words can make you think a thought, a song makes you feel a thought. And I wrote this song about 1.5 years ago, and it hasn't gone away. It recalls the times America really stood up for good and right, and how sometimes we need to get back to that. Ready? It's called Too Far to Turn Back Now. Hope you'll sing with us. 2, 3. At the wilderness, General Grant, he cried at all the gallant men who died, and he cast his eyes at 1,000 graves in the great war to free the slaves. But he rose and made a vow, we've come too far to turn back now. Won't turn back now.
Won't turn back now.
Won't turn back now.
Won't turn back now.
We've come too far to turn back now. After the Ardennes, Eisenhower paused at all the sacrifice it caused. 90,000 men and 1 million more to end a genocidal war. But his task was planning how we'd come too far to turn back now. Won't turn back now.
Won't turn back now.
Won't turn back now.
Won't turn back now.
We've come too far to turn back now. In every age there's a fight for freedom and for right, as people rise to say, can't take this away. Down in Birmingham and in Washington, and the places rights were slowly won. Martin Luther King, many others killed, see the dream of America fulfilled, and songs of hope they did end out. We've come too far to turn back now. Won't turn back now.
Won't turn back now.
Won't turn back now.
Won't turn back now.
Come too beautiful song. Beautiful
you.
song. I know that you weren't expecting this, but I'm going to throw a wrench in here. Can you do one of the songs that you do from your Jewish program?
Let's see, we got to think of one real quick.
We have 5 minutes. Can you do it?
5 minutes. What's one of the ones that you sing?
Yeah, what do you sing?
Well, maybe.
How about
Well,
that Steve
let's hold
Goodman?
off on that. Let's
Okay.
hold that. We got 5 minutes. Let's do a song that you really want to do, that you prepared for.
Let's-
And you'll have to, folks, you're going to have to go to their website. They have a website, and then you'll see it on the screen. So if you want to learn more about all the different programs that they do, and all the traveling that they do, and the CDs that they make, then you can go to the website. You can learn more about them, hear about their history, and meanwhile, we'll get a chance to hear another song.
Okay.
Well, this song is a song I wrote. It was inspired by a trip I took when I first learned I was going to be a father many years ago, and I was scared to death. But my son now is a grown man, and he's a wonderful singer and songwriter himself. And I have a faith now that my imagination is no match for reality. But this song is more what I was thinking at the time. It's called Leave the Dreaming. 2, 1, 2. Boarded the ferry at Dunleary, bound for Liverpool, to catch the train to London the next day. In the chill of February, feeling every bit the fool, without a clue as to what to do or say. Gonna call you daddy, gonna look at you and call you dad. In a hotel near Piccadilly, lying on my bed, thumbing through the new musical express. I'm not ready, but I'm willing to face what lies ahead, praying good enough ain't better than my best. Gonna call you daddy, gonna look at you and call you dad. Shouldn't you know better by now? Ain't it high time that you choose? Shouldn't you know better by now? Leave the dreaming to the others, baby. They ain't got that much to lose. Well, I bought On the Road in paperback and left right then for Wales. With some luck I'd be in Galway before noon. Riding through cold country, reading to the rhythm of the rails, feeling like a man returning from the moon. Gonna call you daddy, gonna look at you and call you dad. Shouldn't you know better by now? Ain't it high time that you choose? Shouldn't you know better by now? Leave the dreaming to the others, baby. They got that much to lose.
Well, it's been really great having gathering time here on the Songwriter's Notebook. It's been kind of, like I said, a look back and a look forward at the same time. A look back at some of the old songs and a look forward to the new things that you're doing with your own songs and the songs that you're kind of recreating in your own way. So I'd like to thank Gathering Time again. Make sure that you check out their website. We'd like to thank Jude over there, Jude Domsky over here. She's working hard. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go out, and why don't you just play a little bit more of that same tune as we're going out. This is Rik Palieri at the Songwriter's Notebook in VCAM Studios right here in beautiful Burlington, Vermont. Thanks again for Gathering Time.
Shouldn't you know better by now? Ain't it high time that you choose? Shouldn't you know better by now? Leave the dream to the others, baby.